You do not have to have everything to get started with homeschooling. You might say, I don't know where to start. I don't have a curriculum. I don't know. Don't worry. Relax. You do not need that to start. The only thing you need to do is go ahead and see what your state requires and begin. You might say, I don't have the money to homeschool. There are a ton of resources out there free for you to be able to get started with homeschooling your child. I'm telling you, it's all available to you. All you got to do is go get it. Visit the website hslda.org and find out what your state is requiring for you to get started. I want y'all to win. I want your children to win. If this is something that you want to do, I just want you to know that you can do it. But when I first started, I did not have help. I did not know where to begin. I knew absolutely nothing. All I had was the internet. I had my phone and the internet, and I began to do some research, and I was able to learn as I went. As co-ops, you have a community behind you, backing you up. So what I've noticed is there is a lot of talk and discussion around homeschooling in traditional school. Some of you may be wondering, should I homeschool my child? Some of you are homeschooling and you may be wondering, should I put my child in traditional school? And I just want to encourage you that whatever is best for your child, that you believe is best for them, it is what's best for them. My kids been homeschooled, my kids been in school, they've experienced it all. Circumstances in life happened, and I had to do what I had to do. We had to do what we had to do for my family. In February of 2022, I ended up getting sick. I was hospitalized. I had to have major surgery 2 times. And when I got back home, I was unable to really take care of my children the way that I wanted to. And I felt like they were kind of neglected. So I told my husband, I said, I'm just going to put them in school for a little bit because I did not want them to fall behind. I just basically wanted them to get the care that they needed as far as their education is concerned. So I ended up putting my children in school. So I just want to shed some light on like the pros and the cons of homeschooling and the pros and the cons of traditional school. I have a favorite, so stick around for my advice and one of my favorites. As far as traditional school, what I've learned is you get to get the kids out the house. I mean, you do have a lot of time to yourself. You have a lot of time to work on you. If you're anything like me, I wanted to build a business. I wanted to be able to get that off the ground. You have time to get those chores done. You can have dinner together early. Honestly, it is a beautiful feeling because you do have quite a bit of time to yourself. I enjoyed going to the school for programs that they had. I enjoyed getting them together in the morning, sending them off, packing lunches, and I liked it because they just get to experience it. I didn't want them to be able to say, hey, I don't know what it's like to be in a traditional school. So for me, that was the most exciting part. Now my cons are influence, curriculum. I did not like some of the things that they were teaching, and I felt like I had no control over it. So there were changes in my kids' behaviors. I noticed that they were picking up things from school, and I'm like, where did you get that from? I didn't teach you that. And it was rough. I noticed that they had personality changes. I constantly had to redirect. I constantly had to say, you should not try to be down with the crowds. I constantly have to remind them of who they are. I constantly had to remind them that you are the light to your peers. So that was one of the things. They pick up so much information because remember, they're in the classroom with their teachers. They're in the classroom with other students, and you don't know what their core values are. You don't know what their beliefs are. So whatever they're doing there is going to be the culture. I remember putting my son in school, and they had to learn about different gods, and they had to pretend like they were one of the gods. And I said, no, we're not going to do that. That's against my religion. I signed off and said, I don't want my son to participate in this. And they actually took 50% off of his grade because he did not participate. That was half their grade. And I thought that was ridiculous. Next up is homeschooling. I'm going to share with you some positives and some pros about homeschooling. Homeschooling was a dream come true. You get to explore, you get to meet other homeschool parents, you get to learn from other people, you get to have that freedom. One of the pros is freedom. You're not tied down to anything. You literally make your own schedule. You literally set the tone in your home for how you want your school to go. So it's like you are able to have full control over your child's education. And I believe that is what most parents love about the fact that they get to homeschool. You may have forgotten some things. Oh, you're going to have to learn it because you have to teach your child. So it was interesting. It's fun seeing them get the aha moment when they finally learn how to do something. I can say that I taught my child to read. They could grow up and they say, Mommy taught me how to read. Mommy taught me how to do math. Mommy taught me this. Mommy taught me that. Another pro is you spending quality time with your child, because we don't have them in our homes forever. They do get older. They do eventually leave and do their own thing. They have to have their own families. So this time with them really matters to me. A lot of us are not in agreement with the curriculum in traditional schools. So now the ball is in your court and you get to teach your child. So if you wanted to ask me for advice on whether or not I believe that you should let your child go to brick and mortar or be homeschooled, I'm going to say that you are their parent. You know what's best for your child. If you're not sure, you can sit down and have a talk with your child and say, hey, what would you rather do? Just have a conversation with them. You got to know your child. Know if they're going to be okay with learning with you. Know if they're going to be okay staying at home. Have a relationship with your child, because being in a traditional school, there are a lot of influences out there. And although we cannot shelter our child from every single thing, we just have to raise them up in the way that they should go. We just have to teach them, to help them, because I can honestly say that sometimes traditional school is what's needed for some. Some of them for where they're going in their life and where they're headed. Maybe God wants them to be in a traditional school. Maybe God wants them to experience that side of things. So I'm going to say that there is no right and wrong way when it comes to your child's education. And that's my opinion. Somebody might tell you differently. You know what's best for your child. So if you feel as though you should send your child to school, send that child to school. Pray over them and move on. Pray over them and walk away and have that bond with them to say, hey, when you are ready to come back home, you can come back home. When you are ready to just say, I want to be homeschooled, they can be homeschooled. But have that connection with your child and talk to your child about that. As far as my preferences, I am going to say that I really enjoy homeschooling, even though that is time consuming and all. I'm going to say that I love homeschool. All of my working parents who say that, you know what, I would love to homeschool my child, but I just simply can't. That is okay. They're going to be fine. You pray over that baby and send them to school. You know what's best for your household, and you know what's best for your child. You know what's best for your family. However, I am here for you if you say, but sis, I really do want to homeschool. I feel like my child needs to be home. Let me tell you something. Homeschool is not what you think. It is not some strict schedule that you just have to follow. You literally set your own schedule. Let's just say if you had a grandma for them to go with, an aunt, a family member, or a nanny. You can get the curriculum and you can let them go with the aunt, with the nanny, whoever is you have set up to watch your children at that time. You could literally have your child doing the work there with them. And then when you get home at some point in a day or schedule sometimes out the week, you can just go over their work and see what they've been doing, see how well they learn and see how well they are progressing. There is ways around this, because it makes my heart sad to hear some parents say that they really want to homeschool their child, but they can't because they have to work. I mean, even if you wanted your child to start school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it can be done. As long as they're getting their work done, it can be done. It's your house, your rules. Just find out what your state requires and work around it. But I know that they do not give a schedule. They don't say, oh, your child got to be in school from 8 to 3. They might say they have to have like 6 hours worth of school, but guess what? In homeschool, you can get it done in a shorter time. I'm telling you, homeschooling doesn't take long. For many, it can take between 2 to 4 hours. It doesn't take that long. So don't ever feel like your hands are tied when it comes to your child's education. The ball is in your court. If you want a little bit more information and some encouragement on how to do this, I do have a free ebook. All the resources are there. Just visit homeschoolwithari.com and get your free ebook so that you can learn and start homeschooling your child today.